Hello and welcome to Odds Market's Premier League punters. We head into week 2. But first of all, I do want to congratulate Flash. This is your first week here. You came on this show for your very first week last week. How's your first week been?
Seems like a year. I've done so much work.
Time flies, eh? When
you're listen,
I'm
I'm so privileged to be here. I'm enjoying it. There's so many different things to do, and listen, roll on. Let's hope I'm here next week, eh?
Well, we'll see.
Exactly, second week anniversary.
We will see if he makes it. Martin Green, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm very good, thanks, Natalie. It's a bit of a grim, rainy evening in the UK. I'd rather be in Costa Rica getting ready to go to the beach, but I'm pleased to hear that Flash hasn't created any diplomatic incidents yet, and he's still allowed to stay in Costa Rica.
Yeah, no, he's all right. He's a very good cook, Martin, I have to say. He has been cooking. He's staying with me at the moment.
Perfect.
Keep
him. He's a keeper.
We've gone for a little bit of chicken casserole.
Chicken casserole.
Cabbage.
Cooked last night for the extra flavour.
Correct. Only because someone went out without me.
It was Mother's Day.
I didn't have you pegged for a domestic goddess, Flash. I'm impressed.
He actually is. He's been cooking every night for us.
You don't get this size without cooking plenty food, you know?
Yeah, but you said you've lost some weight.
I have, I can see. But you then said, no, it's still really round.
He was looking at himself on the camera and he goes, I've lost some weight. I said,
no,
you're still round.
Exactly. Just keep my feet on the ground.
Yeah, well, all right. Listen, Tips HQ, Stuart from Tips HQ is in the chat. How are you doing? Really great to you're there. Dave Betts as well, another Odds Market team gang member. We're doing, over on oddsmarket.com, so before we get started with the Premier League punters, we are tracking all of our bets and as well from our writers as well, and we're doing really, really well just from the first, I think it's from the last couple of weeks, and obviously as each show goes on we'll be bringing up the different records so that you can see for yourselves, but we are 58 units of profit, and that's across from golf, snooker, UFC, cricket, everything that we have covered over at oddsmarket.com. We are transparent. Talking of which, our record, the Premier League record as a whole of units, we're up 2.2 units of profit, and that's also counting in as well. Dave Betts gave some sneaky Premier League picks or tips over. He does a weekly championship article. But Flash and Martin, let's have a look. Rafa, have you got the graphic? There we go. First week. 3.4 units of profit, Flash.
Listen, you know what I say. I say it's too early when you get that up in March and April next year, so that's way too early. Martin was so unlucky. He went under 4.5 in 2 games, and they ended up having 5 goals in each. So, listen, I hope that doesn't repeat itself, because this week I've gone for 3 under 4.5 goals, and I'm sure that in them games I'm expecting Martin to lead the way.
Yeah, Martin, 3 wins. 3 wins, 4 losses, 8 picks in total. Flash, was a good, because you did that treble acca as well, didn't you?
Yeah, and the one I lost was the one that I picked after being jet lagged of getting off the plane with having no sleep in 3 days, was Watford at home to Brighton.
I think we convinced you on that one, didn't we?
Well, we did, yeah.
You listened to us.
But I still lost.
All right, so week 2 of Premier League, let's see what we've got. We're going to kick off Arsenal versus Burnley. Obviously, Arsenal and Newcastle, I was liking both teams to score on this one, kept a clean sheet. Arsenal are priced 1.35. Burnley, they're a further 11. Burnley obviously beat Southampton 3-0. We're going to start with you, Martin, on this one, don't we? Arsenal, what do you fancy here? Another Arsenal under 4.5 goals, or you're a little bit burnt from last week?
Oh my God, I am so burnt by that bet. I had it in 3 matches. It did come off in 1, fortunately. Tottenham won 3-1 against Aston Villa. Rarely that I'm cheering on Tottenham to win a game, but they just about held in there. I'm not going to go for that for a little while. I'm going to put that bet on the back burner. I'm actually going to go for overs in this game. I think Arsenal will win. I'm glad I just went for the Arsenal victory in the opening game. They edged it against Newcastle. They didn't put out a particularly strong team. There were a few teenagers in the mix. Hopefully they're going to play the likes of Nicolas Pepe, David Luiz in this game, maybe Dani Ceballos to give them a bit more gumption in midfield. But yeah, I think they will take care of Burnley. They beat them 3-1 home and away last season. The Emirates is a bit of a fortress nowadays, and I think they'll win. But I think they're going to struggle to keep a second consecutive clean sheet. I think Burnley might score in this game. So I'm looking at Arsenal and over 2.5 goals in this one, at odds of 1.91. I think maybe like a 2-1, 3-1 to Arsenal would suit me down to the grounds.
Ooh, all right. What do you think? Burnley, obviously, I think they can contribute on the score sheet here. What do you think?
Normally you'd say 100% you'd expect them to score because you don't expect Arsenal to keep a clean sheet. I reckon Arsenal might just try and heed the warning from last year, learn by their mistakes and not try and go and win 4-5, 6-2 and things like that. Then just get the points, especially at the start of the season when Man City are expecting to win their first few games, Liverpool, Man United. And so you've got to make sure you're not behind the 8 ball. So, I mean, I just went with Arsenal and under 4.5 at 1.72. I mean, I know that's not normally odds that I would go for, but I've got 3 games where I'm going to go 1.72, 1.8, 1.8. I mean, obviously, we'll do our banker, our next bet, but I'm also going to do that little treble like I did last week. So for me, Arsenal and under 4.5, 1.72, not to go goal crazy.
Yeah, I have to say I like
that. So
if
bet. Arsenal win 3-1, we're great. We both win.
Oh, yeah, or 2-1.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're cheering on yours.
Yeah.
Perfect. Or 3-0.
No, because we both teams to score.
Oh, you like it? I thought you're usually doing Arsenal in the over 2.5 goals.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought he was expecting Burnley to score.
All right. Aston Villa, quickly. See, Jack Turner. This is why you've got to have your computer in for the next ones. Jack Turner says he thinks that Burnley will score as well. And then Pie Guy says, is it just me or are Burnley overpriced? Do you think Burnley are overpriced? Though it's high, but I think Arsenal will get the job done.
No, I think Arsenal can't afford to slip up, and this is what you've got to make sure. You've got to listen. Some of these sides, like your Man United, like your Chelsea, like your Arsenal last year, Man United had that little bit of flattering run around Christmas when Ollie took over, but they were too far behind the likes of Man City and Liverpool, and it was a two-horse race from about October. You can't do that. You've got to make sure that you win your home games, and I expect Arsenal to win their home game.
Yeah. All right. Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. Now Villa 2.4, Bournemouth 3.2, and draw 3.4. Do you have a play for this, man?
Oh, what do you think? Aston Villa at home against Bournemouth, and I'm beating up on Villa. You were giving me a bit of stick last week when we were sitting by the pool and Villa were 1-0 up for like 65 minutes. And I said, don't worry, last 20 minutes, they will cave in.
Yeah, that's
and they
true.
caved in. And I'm going with Bournemouth all the way. Bournemouth 3.1 I've got. So you've got 3.2. So you've been on the phone to Flash's bookie. So yeah, 3.2 Bournemouth. I expect Bournemouth to pick them off. Man for man, Bournemouth better players. I think there might be a little bit of euphoria. Villa's first home game in the Premier League. I think they might get a little bit carried away, and they also might run out of gas. And when they do, I think Bournemouth's pace will see them through. So maybe both teams to score as well. But I'm just going straight Bournemouth win 3.1. 3.2.
Yeah, nice price on that one. Yeah, I wasn't I? Because Aston Villa, I was like, you'll never believe the score, and you're like, what? Yeah, all right. What do you think, Martin?
I don't know, were you not slightly impressed with Aston Villa's performance, Flash? I thought they looked pretty good in the first half. It kind of bodes relatively well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I thought that what they did is they took a leaf out of Brighton's book when they were back end of last season, when they just defended so deep to not allow, and basically they got their noses in front, 1-0. Always easier to play that way when you've got that 1-goal advantage. But at home, they'll be forced to go forward. And I think that Bournemouth will pick them off, especially with the crowd behind them. The first game in the Premier League at Villa Park, I just think the match-up, I think that Bournemouth will beat them.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I think Aston Villa are going to have to go and put on a show in front of their fans. I think they're going to commit men forward, and I think they're going to leave gaps at the back. I think Bournemouth do exactly the same thing. That is the Eddie Howe playbook. They always commit men forward. They love taking risks. Both teams to score comes off so frequently when Bournemouth play. I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I can until it finally fails me. They conceded a late goal to Sheffield United last weekend, and that was one of the bets that I did win. So both teams to score again for me, 1.67.
All right, it's both teams to score. It's probably a bit of value as well if Bournemouth draw no bet for those that wanted to cover the draw as well. Ali Khan says, love Flash's ex-player analysis. Gives a perspective that even the most rabid fan can't give. There you go, bit of Friday love.
Yeah, you'll soon knock it out of me.
No, that's not true. Brighton versus West Ham now. Brighton 2.6, West Ham 3, and the draw 3.42. Obviously, Brighton's favourites in this one at home. What a win against Watford. I have to say that Brighton price looks mighty tempting. What do you think, Martin?
It was a very, very impressive performance from Brighton. I did say that I think they won't go down. I think they will do pretty well under Graham Potter. I think they've been underestimated in pre-season. Having said that, it's a difficult game against West Ham. You know, they were very embarrassed to lose 5-0 to Man City in their opener. But I don't think you can judge West Ham's prospects for the season on that. Man City have been blowing them away time after time. I think they've got 7 wins out of 7 since Guardiola took over against the Hammers. So I think they'll fare a lot better against a team like Brighton. They spent a lot of money in the summer. They've got a good team. I think they'll cause Brighton problems. I just can't call this one, to be honest. I think West Ham are going to finish above Brighton this season. But, you know, it's at the Amex. Brighton have got home advantage. Anything can happen, really. So this is a game I'm going to pass on.
All right, passing. That's interesting. I was quite liking Brighton's price. What are you going for?
I'm passing all the way. I mean, how can you rely on Brighton versus West Ham? You've got West Ham who physically are far stronger than Brighton. Brighton off of a clean sheet, 3 goals away from home. And West Ham not scoring and letting in 5. It's got everything, this game. But you find me a betting angle and I would say you're bonkers. Because you play the game 3 times, you'll probably get 3 different results. These are not the sides to be trusting, and unless they're maybe not. You wouldn't even trust them in an FA Cup game against lower league opposition. So for me, on the Premier League, there's better teams and better offers about.
All right. I just thought about West Ham on the road as well. Obviously, they've got a stronger home. If you look at last season's record there, I think it's 9 wins at home, 6 on the road. All right. Staying off that game, it is official pass. Everton versus Watford now. Everton 1.77, draw 4.05, and Watford 5.2. Obviously, Watford failing to win their opening match. They head to Everton 1.77. Would you take that price, 1.77?
No, that is probably the only price you'd probably want to take, but I'm leaving the game well alone. And the reason Everton, it just stares at Everton must beat Watford because Watford got beat 3-0 at home last week. These are the type of games that will come and kick you in the backside. You've got to leave these sides until they get a run of form going and you can get a real handle on them. I just can't trust Everton. They went to Crystal Palace last week. They completely dominated the game. And remember, Palace were in disarray and they still couldn't score. And then you've got Watford who couldn't score at home against Brighton who were tipped to go down. No, not for me. Leave it well alone.
Okay, another pass. All right. Are you passing this game, Martin, or are you playing it?
I might go in for like half a stake, just be a little bit cautious. I was distinctly underwhelmed with Watford's performance against Brighton. Xavi Gracia after the game said that he hopes it will serve as a wake-up call to his team, that they'll finally snap into action. And you would definitely expect them to have a better game against Everton. But yeah, I think at home in front of a demanding Goodison Park crowd, they spent a lot of money over the past couple of years. Everton are going to push for the win. I think they might get the job done. 1.78, 1.77 to 1.78. I'll put half a stake down on the Everton win. Problem for me for Everton is a lack of goals. Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front isn't going to strike fear into the hearts of opposition defenders, but if you can get Richarlison on the ball, they've got a lot of creative talent in that midfield. So I think if Richarlison has a big game, Everton win this. That's enough for me to put half a stake on it.
And this is where I have a problem with Everton. I think they've got an embarrassment of riches, and at the moment they don't know who their best 11 are because they've gone out and they've bought so many new players. They've got players that are going out. I don't think we'll see the best of Everton for a good 6 to 8 games because they've got to get the right balance. Also, you've got new faces, and they're probably not even speaking English, so they've got to settle in. And for me, if you're going to do anything, you take them on. But on the face of it, 1.77 home win. But again, if Watford do bounce back and they do show that spirit that they showed last year, they've already started, haven't they? Last year we couldn't get them right; they'd go and lose. When we backed them, when we backed them, they lost.
No, I know.
And when we didn't back them, they won. So yeah, leave Watford alone.
Yeah, no, that is actually very true. I remember that. Jack Turner says Everton versus Watford is the hardest match to predict this round. Anything is on the cards, but Alexandra is liking Everton -1. Yeah. Paul Blakesley is a West Ham double chance. That was in the game before. And then Pie Guy's liking the under 2.5 goals. I think if we had to go, if I had to look at the goals market on Everton versus Watford, I would be leaning under on this one. Would you?
I think if you was going to go with goals, you'd go with both teams to score no.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. All right. Norwich versus Newcastle now. Norwich 2.3, draw 3.5, and Newcastle 3.5. What do you like here, Martin?
I don't like much in this game, to be honest. I think it's understandable that Norwich are the favourites. They brought a bit of momentum up from their championship winning campaign last time around. Thought they acquitted themselves reasonably well against Liverpool in their opener, but defensive immaturity cost them. And you could see them conceding against Newcastle. It was a poor start to the season for the Magpies against Arsenal, but you would expect them to do better against a team like Norwich. Steve Bruce is still finding his way. There's still a lot of new players to bed in. I'm still not quite sure where the goals are going to come from for Newcastle now that Perez and Rondon have both left. Again, this has to be a pass for me, I'm afraid.
Another pass, okay. And remember, we still are in obviously week 2 of the Premier League. When do you start going a little bit? Because obviously we say tread cautiously for the first couple of weeks. When do you think it really starts getting going?
I think probably week 4, week 5. But the good thing is that it's like a winning bet when you pass, because it's not costing you anything to watch and be educated. I mean, I love the fact that last year most of my success was on the games that I left alone because I didn't get drawn in because I saw the big prices or the overvalue, and it's like this game as well. I can see this being a score draw, 1-1, 2-2, but I can't find any sort of conviction to say I'm definitely going to go this way. So leave it alone, watch, try and educate yourself on the way these teams play, and when they play against a side that match up perfectly for what you've seen, then that's when you can dive in.
Yeah, all right. Southampton versus Liverpool now. Liverpool are 1.5. I know you've got some a parlay bets or acca bets going on. Did Liverpool make the cut? They're on the road at Southampton. Yeah,
without a doubt. I've gone with Liverpool to beat Southampton. Liverpool are under 4.5 at 1.8. Well, the 1.5 just to win the game. So 1.8, I don't fancy. Listen, they've had a tough trip to Istanbul in the week. They had that bit of extra time. I think they'll just make sure that they win the game. Southampton will try and stay in the game as long as possible. I think it's a mismatch on quality. I thoroughly expect Liverpool to win the game. So Liverpool and under 4.5 at 1.8, and that'll be the second leg of my treble with Arsenal.
Oh, nice. Obviously, Southampton failed to score at Burnley, losing 3-0. Do you think they can get on the score sheet? And I know it's funny, Martin, you've been burnt by the under 4.5, but Flash here seems to be going full throttle with it. Do you think that Southampton can get on the score sheet? And what do you think of the combining the Liverpool and the under 4.5 goals?
To be honest, I've probably spent an unhealthy amount of my day wondering whether Southampton can get on the score sheet in this one. Simply because Alisson was injured in the game against Norwich. They conceded. And Adrian was thrust into the fray for the Super Cup game in midweek. They conceded 2 against Chelsea, and then he was the hero in the penalty shootout. And a crazed, excited Liverpool fan ran onto the pitch to hug him, slipped, and ended up kicking him in the ankle. So now Adrian's got a swollen ankle. He might make the game, he might not. If he doesn't, they're going to have to play their third choice keeper, Andy Lundgren, who was at Rochdale last season. But so it's either the former Rochdale keeper, who's now 35, who's only played 14 games in the past year, or it's Adrian, who's got a swollen ankle. So I do just worry they might concede. I think that Liverpool will win this one quite comfortably. They typically dominate Southampton when they play them. Very, very good record against the Saints in recent years. They've got a lot of former players. So Van Dijk's going to be going back there, Mane, Adam Lallana, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and they typically dominate Southampton. So my main bet is just going to be Liverpool -1 Asian handicap at 1.8. I know they're going to be fatigued after travelling to Istanbul and going to extra time against Liverpool, but I still think Jurgen Klopp can shuffle the pack, bring in a few fresh legs and still win this game. But I might just have half a stake on Liverpool and both teams to score at 3.0. Because I'm just wondering now with this goalkeeper situation that Southampton might get on the score sheet.
You're changing your tactic. You're stepping it up a notch this season. You started experimenting towards the end. It worked out. Look at Martin go. Do you think Southampton can get on the score sheet, obviously based on goalie's injuries? What do you think?
Yeah, quite possibly. I don't think it's got anything to do with the goalkeeper's injuries because you've got to have shots on goal.
Yeah.
And they haven't been creating. I mean, I think I put Southampton a little bit like the same as Everton, but not as many riches because they've got new players that have come in and have gone straight into the side rather than straight into the squad. So, I had this game down at being 3-0, 3-1. That's why I went for the 4.5. But I also know that if Southampton, they can frustrate Liverpool for long periods, I still expect Liverpool, it could be 1-0, 2-0. That's why I've just made sure that I don't think there'll be 5 goals in the game, and that's why I've gone with Liverpool and under 4.5, 1.8.
I have to say, but if you think, obviously, correct scoreline, 1-0, 2-0, I have to say, and Longbow says it here as well, a Liverpool -1 on the Asian handicap at 1.8 that Martin's going for, I think is tremendous value. Like, I think, to put it in your words, it's a moral.
Well, you'd expect that.
If they win 1-0, you get your money back, don't you?
Is that the way it works?
That's the Asian.
That's great.
I'm going to teach him the Asian.
Yeah, well, you're going to teach me tonight, aren't you? When I go down there to put my my coupon on. No, listen, I can't go against that. I just thought the 1.8 for Liverpool to win and under 4.5 was just definitely the way to go for me.
Yeah. Rude Boy, hello guys, great to see everyone's back and girl. Woohoo! We are back, yes, week 2. Okay, Manchester City versus Tottenham, the key fixture of the weekend here. Man City at 1.38 at home. Obviously, they flexed their scoring muscles, 5-0. An amazing start to their season, obviously trying to retain the title. Tottenham obviously won their key fixture as well. Tottenham are on the road this time, 1.38. That's low. Would you put that into an accumulator bet?
That's exactly what I've done. I've gone with Man City to win and under 4.5, again at 1.8. That's my treble. They're my 3. Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City all to win and be under 4.5. And the reason I've gone with Man City and under 4.5 is because this is the type of game with the 3rd or 4th place side in the Premier League last year. It's all about just winning. Just win the game. I expect this to be quite a tight game, to be honest.
Yeah, I do.
I think that Tottenham will make sure that they don't go 1-0, 2-0 down in 20 minutes. And the thing is with Man City, I think that if they do get their noses in front, they're just going to make sure it's so tough for Tottenham to get back into the game. So for me, Man City and minus 4.5 and under 4.5 at 1.8.
How many bets of those have you done? That's the Martin Classic.
Yeah, 3. They're my 3. I'm doing a treble. I'm doing a treble, and I might throw in my nap at the end of it.
Yeah. They're talking about your hair at the moment. He shaves his hair, actually. I know this now that I live with him. And he says he's got more white hair. That's probably living with me.
No, it's behind. It's the camera's behind.
He's blonde. It's blonde, I can tell you. And he shaves it.
Spotlight.
It's the spotlight. Mine probably looks great too. I'm probably getting a
looks. I've been waiting for that one. Just get a little one back there.
All right. I don't know. Man City and the under 4.5 goals. I would say, again, I know, Martin, you wouldn't be using this one. If you hadn't have got burnt last week, would you have used your Martin Classic? Man City and the 4.5 goals in this one?
Perhaps, yeah. I think this is a really difficult game to call. In the Premier League in recent years, Guardiola has really had Tottenham's measure, 4 wins out of 4. But that Champions League quarter-final last season has kind of thrown the head-to-heads out of whack a bit. Obviously, Man City won 4-3 here in their last meeting, and Tottenham just about scraped through on aggregate. Sterling's goal right at the death was disqualified by VAR, which I think kind of throws everything a bit for me. Tottenham did come back well against Aston Villa. I still fancy Man City to win this one, but I'm just not really sure there's the value there. Bookmakers you're never going to see quite such a long set of odds on Tottenham. I mean, Tottenham are probably the 3rd best team in the Premier League, right? And they're 8-1 to win a single match, which is just outrageous. I can see a few value hunters going on Spurs, but I do think Man City will win. But at odds of 2-5, 1.4, I can't really find the value there. What I might do is just put half a stake down on Raheem Sterling to score at any time. I think he's pretty much guaranteed starter in this Man City side. Leroy Sané's out for the season, so Sterling's the only real pacey, wide attacker that they've got. I didn't put it as an official play on this show last time, but I said Raheem Sterling to score at any time on the article that I wrote, and I wish I'd gone for it. So I'm going to go for it this time, just with half a stake. I think he could possibly win the Golden Boot this season. You've seen a lot of wide attacking players like Salah, Mane shared the Golden Boot last time around. I think it could be Sterling's time. He's going to get great service in this game, and you can get 2.2 on him to score at any time.
Nice. Did you add though, because our record is counting both articles written and tips presented on the show? Did you add that onto your? Have you updated that?
Oh no, I'm going to be in profit then. I like the sound of this. I will get on that.
Yeah, you're supposed. That's what the bets given on Sports Bet Daily as well. The articles are written. Those are the records that we're keeping across all sports. Oddsmarket.com. Please go check it out. It is full of amazing content from really great contributors. Most of actually you see on the show during the week with Flash. So do stay tuned. All right, Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. It went under 2.5 goals, as you predicted. Sheffield United at home are the slight favourites here at 2.62. Is there any value in that? I personally think it's going to be another low scorer.
Oh, no doubt. I've done a piece on Oddsmarket, and hopefully that'll be up this afternoon. Mm-hmm. I just think this is an unbelievably cagey game. You've got Sheffield United, who are going to make sure they stay in games. They're not going to want to get involved in a basketball shootout. I look at this game being 0-0. I really do, and I've actually gone with maybe under 1.5 goals at the odds of 3. I really do think that this is going to be very tight. I don't think that Sheffield United are going to want to over-commit themselves and get caught by Palace on the counter. I can't trust Palace because you don't know what they're up to, because obviously at home last week they didn't really put up a very good fight and got away with a 0-0. I just think Sheffield United, if they're going to survive in the Premier League, this is a game that they're not going to want to get beaten. So for me, even though if they get a point, I think they're going to be happy. So I do think it could well be 0-0, but my selection is Sheffield United versus Palace under 1.5 at 3.
Oh, you're pushing it there, aren't you? Under 1.5. Okay. Do you think it's going to be a low scorer, Martin?
Yeah, I do think this is going to be a low scorer. Both teams obviously involved in low scoring games in the opening round of fixtures. Crystal Palace did pretty well to hold Everton to a 0-0 draw, all things considered. And we know that Sheffield United scraped that late equaliser. But yeah, I can't see there being many goals in this game. I do like that approach. I think that is sensible. For me, this is just going to be a pass because these are just two teams that I haven't quite figured out yet. Sheffield United are new to the league. I've been impressed by their manager so far, and I thought they set themselves up very well against Bournemouth. I think they could get a result here, but yeah, these are the sort of teams that I want to wait for a few more weeks till I can sort of see some patterns developing before I bet on these. So this is the sort of game for me to leave. So this is a pass for me, I'm afraid.
And Martin makes a really good point there. If you have a look at half the teams in the Premier League, let's go with Brighton. Brighton, new manager. So you've got to be a little bit wary. You've got Everton, new signings. Southampton, new signings. And then you've got Norwich, new to the league, against Newcastle, who have got a new manager. You've got Southampton, new signings. I mean, there's a lot of factors where you are best just probably being a little bit cagey and just having a look. I just know the way that Sheffield United are going to set up, and they're going to make sure that they're not easy to be beat. So in which case, and I don't see them scoring a bundle of goals neither. So I think it could well be 0-0, and that's at 8. Mm-hmm. But I'm just going to go safe, under 1.5 at 3.
Yeah, if you want to go safer, under 2.5 goals at 1.66. And it's not quite the size of your odds. I would probably take that, but you can put that as well, and it's definitely a nice parlay for that.
1.66 for you is like an absolute bonanza. That's point. That's
no, 1.62 is as low as I go.
I know, 0.04 above your average.
All right, yeah, but the other way to do it as well is under 2 on the Asian goals market.
Yeah, and the other way is to go both teams to score no.
Do you think?
Because I think that if there is going to be a goal, I think that the one team will win. I don't see both teams scoring.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about 1-1 draw. That's why I would go under 2.5 goals.
Yeah, well, I don't see 3 goals, so yeah, I would agree with you.
I don't. All right, so a low scorer, Sheffield United versus Crystal Palace. Sunday's match here, Chelsea versus Leicester. Chelsea 1.75 draw for, and Leicester 5.4. What a good price for Chelsea there, 1.75. I'm even looking at taking it to the -1 Asian handicap. Martin, do you like that home price of Chelsea?
I do like that home price of Chelsea, actually. Yeah, I thought it might be a bit of an unpopular selection, considering that they were mauled by Man United last weekend. But they gave a very good showing, a very good account of themselves in the Super Cup, and they are the sort of team that can play well against big teams like that in big games. When you look at that midfield, N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho, that's a heavyweight midfield. I can't see many teams in the league keeping up with that. Even the likes of Liverpool will struggle to take on that three. Yeah, they've got a lot of young players, but I still think they can have a decent season under Frank Lampard, and they will learn from the mistakes they made against Man United. At Stamford Bridge, I think they might well get a result here. You do forget that they still do have a fair amount of world-class players, and they've got a pretty intriguing blend of youth and experience. So I can actually see them coming away with a result in this one. I think the odds are pretty good on it. It's actually drifting out a little bit. If you go to something like Bet Hard, you can get 1.77. That looks worth it for me.
Yeah. And you were surprised by the 4-0 scoreline, weren't you, against Man United? You thought at least like Chelsea should have scored. If not, you said they looked the better team.
Without a doubt, I thought they were the better team, and I would question anyone to tell me different for the first 65 minutes. Chelsea, 18 shots on goal, hit the woodwork twice, went 1-0 down to a penalty. Yes, it was a penalty, so there's no excuses there. But I felt that it was a new type of Chelsea who won the ball and looked to pass forward. Now, if you go over to oddsmarket.com this afternoon, I've done a write-up for this game, and this is my favourite game over the weekend. I've gone with Chelsea -1 at 3. I think Chelsea, they're a great value at 1.75 just to win the game, but me being greedy, and I'm a real fan of the way they played for 65 minutes. I'm really... I can't. The problem you've got here is Leicester want to play too much sideways balls, and unless Chelsea defenders have got to make sure they don't get hit with that old Leicester trait of the long ball. Under Brendan Rodgers, they're a bit tippy-tappy. Now, if they play tippy-tappy against this Chelsea side, they could find that they're 2-0 down in no time at all. So for me, Chelsea -1 at 3.
Yeah, and that's on the European.
That's the European, yeah.
So -1.5 Asian. Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. I think it's my banker of the weekend, that Chelsea win. What about you, Martin?
I probably wouldn't go banker of the weekend, but
really?
I do think they can win. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit early, obviously. They played twice this season. They got hammered by Man United, and they held Liverpool to a creditable draw. Obviously, we know that Leicester are a good team, but Chelsea should win this one. They've got superior players in midfield. They're at home, and they need a big win to galvanise their season under Frank Lampard and really get the crowd behind the new boss. So I think they'll win, but I probably wouldn't say it's my banker of the weekend. I think there's teams that are more likely to secure victory, like Man City and Liverpool. But yeah, I think it's a good bet.
Yeah, well, certainly a bet with value. All right, final game here, Monday, Wolves versus Manchester United. Manchester United 2.33, draw 3.4, and Wolves also 3.4. Now, I know what you're going, because I helped edit your article. We've got flash writing. Work in progress, I have to say, but it's certainly got a bit of meat on the bones, doesn't it?
So there we go again. Lift me up with one hand and slap me with the bigger hand. Okay, yes, I've done an article on Wolves versus Manchester United, and I'm not getting away from Wolves. Wolves, we said they're going to strangle sides. Last week, 70% of possession against them for Leicester. 1 shot on goal they allowed, 1 shot. Manchester United, 18 shots on their goal, and twice Chelsea hit the woodwork. For me, I cannot believe Wolves at 3.4 is 100% value for me. I think that the Wolves midfield is far better than the disjointed one of Man United, McTominay, Pereira, Pogba. They couldn't find each other with a map or a compass, and I think that they'll come unstuck on Monday night. So Wolves to win at 3.4, and I'm also going Wolves and both teams to score at 6.5, and that's only because I'm not ignorant enough to know that Manchester United players on the break with their pace can get on the score sheet. So I say Wolves and both teams to score at 6.5, but Wolves to win outright at 3.4.
Are you putting a full unit on Wolves and both teams to score?
Yeah, of course.
A full unit?
Yeah, of course. Because I mean,
not even
I
going
can.
like half, not that.
No. I mean, obviously, I did say because it's Monday night, I'll tweet out because also we're going to do in play with Flash. So I will see how the weekend goes. But my next best, to my banker is Wolves to win this game at 3.4, and I will be getting that before the odds crumble.
And that's true, actually. We're going to do, for the very, very first time at Odds Market, we are doing in-play betting on Sunday morning. Some of the games there, some Premier League games.
We're starting with Chelsea.
Yeah, Alex from Alex Classic Tips will be joining us as well. So just follow us on Twitter. We're kind of going it as we go. We don't really know how it's going to work right now, but it is going to be morning time. It is going to be doing the first Premier League games and Odds Market. Follow us on Twitter and you'll get all the updates on that one as well. All right, so Flash very boldly is going for that Wolves win. Martin, are you joining him for the home win?
I mean, I think they are a great price. They obviously did very well against Man United last season. They beat them twice within a fortnight, beat them in the league and knocked them out of the FA Cup. So I can see why there's a lot of people going to be backing Wolves this week. I'm a bit unsure just because I think Man United will have their tails up after that 4-0 victory against Chelsea. That's a great way to start the season. That's going to really boost their morale ahead of this game. I think they'll go to Molineux full of confidence, and they're looking pretty good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Obviously, we know that Wolves are having a fantastic start to the season. They've been thumping teams in the Europa League, and they picked up a decent opening day result. I'm just not sure about this game. Again, I think I might pass on it. A lean would be both teams to score. I think they both kept clean sheets before, but they've both got good players going forward. I can't see Man United resisting this Wolves attack for the entire game. But like Flash said, Man United are going to be very, very quick on the break this season with Lingard, Martial, and Marcus Rashford. So I think they'll get goals as well. So maybe both teams to score at 1.91. That's more of a lean than an official play.
Yeah, I like both teams to score 1.91. All right, that is it. Those are the 10 Premier League Week 2 games there headed into the weekend. I'm going to ask, as we always do, Flash and Martin to run through their bets. So if you joined us late or you want to write them down, we're going to go through the games that we're going to put on the official record. And then also if there's a banker where we put 2 units, the rest is 1 unit. And also a 2 or a 3 team ACCA or parlay bet. So, all right, Martin, start us off.
So I'm going to go with Arsenal and over 2.5 goals against Burnley at 1.91. Both teams to score in the Aston Villa Bournemouth game at 1.67. I'm going to stick half a unit on Everton to beat Watford. Then I'm going to go Liverpool -1 Asian handicap at 1.8 against Southampton. Probably just half a unit on Sterling to score at any time against Tottenham, and Chelsea to beat Leicester at 1.77. If I was doing a double, I'd probably just go Man City. Yeah, probably Man City, Liverpool. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea maybe.
You said though, because it's got to be for you've got to say if it's on your official record or not.
No. If I'm looking at accumulators, to be honest, I'll be looking at La Liga or Serie A, Bundesliga. Borussia Dortmund, I think, will win quite comfortably. There's teams like Valencia, I think, will win, but I'm not going to be doing any trebles on the Premier League this weekend. A lot of evenly matched games, and I think I'm going to wait for a couple of weeks before I start doing ACCAs there.
Yeah, good call. What was your banker? Sorry.
Banker, all right. If I have to go for a banker and do 2 units, I'll just go Arsenal to beat Burnley. I think they'll win.
Yeah, all right. So Arsenal, the banker here. We have actually covered as well during midweek. Flash had, it was Bundesliga and La Liga with number Juan, which is a new guest that's joining us for this season. And also Radek, our Bundesliga, one of our Bundesliga experts as well. All of those you can find on the Odds Market YouTube channel or on the Odds Market football tips page as well. We've got the videos and also article rundown. Okay, what are you going for?
I'm going for Bournemouth to beat Villa at 3.2. I'm going for Arsenal and under 4.5 at 1.72. Liverpool and under 4.5 at 1.8. Man City and under 4.5 at 1.8. I'm going Chelsea -1 at 3. Wolves to win at 3.4. And Wolves and both teams to score at 6.5. Sheffield United under 1.5 at 3. But I wouldn't put anyone off the 0-0. My banker, Chelsea -1. My next best is Wolves at 3.4. And I am doing the Arsenal, Liverpool and Man City under 4.5 treble for 1 unit.
Did you say that one there?
No, that's because am I allowed to say that one?
Well, may as well.
Okay,
Flash has got how many? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
7.
6, 7.
And okay,
17 parlay as well.
Yeah, 17 parlay. I'm just going to throw in, and obviously I was helped by number 1 and Martin and Alex and Radek. I've gone for Barcelona to win at 1.7, Valencia at 1.7, Chelsea at 1.75. Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City, as I've already said, the under 4.5s. And Bayern Munich to win and over 2.5 at 1.7.
There you go. All right, that racks up week. What do you think about that one, Martin? He said he won't like the end of 4.5.
He likes it.
He's a bit like,
no, I think Martin likes it, apart from the Arsenal game.
No, I like it. The accumulators, there's always one team that lets you down. I think a good 5 or 6 will come in, and then one team will let you down. So find a bookmaker that offers accumulator insurance, or place a load of 5-fold, 6-folds, and a 7-fold.
That's the way to go.
And you're it sounds great.
Yeah. All right, wonderful stuff. Anything more to add, Flash, before we close up? We've got an exciting week next week, don't we? Obviously, we've got in-play betting on Sunday.
In-play betting on Monday, because I'm going to do the Monday night game.
Okay.
And also, we've got La Liga. We've got Dave Betts is going to come in next week with the 4th round of matches in the Football League.
Yeah, that's
We've got Alex coming on to do the tennis at the back end of the week. The Premier League punters will be back on Thursday now.
Yeah.
Because there's no more Mother's Day or any other Woman's Day in Costa Rica where they can have the whole day off.
I was working all day yesterday. I was
every day. Every day, of course
working.
she was.
Yeah. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Bet responsibly. And go to oddsmarket.com. Go and check out all the content we have across all sports there. Thank you very much, Martin, Flash, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
Cheers. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.